Hi, I'm Victoria. I'm an intuitive and an energy worker here in New York City. And I see a lot of clients. Sometimes I know why they come in for treatments, and sometimes they're really vague. But I'll tell you one thing, I have been seeing a lot of people that come in because they have been in narcissistic relationships. They don't necessarily tell me this, but it's something that I find out through my intuitive energy work. And there's always a common sort of thread that I sense when I'm working with these people. And I think it would be helpful for a lot of people to know what it is. So the way that I work as an intuitive, as an energy worker, is to sense people's variations in energy through my hands. And I deal with chakras. So there's the chakra system in your body, 7 energy centers that control physical and emotional issues. And when people come in, what I do is I scan them. My hands are super sensitive to detecting variations in energy. Sometimes people have a lot of energy in their body. Sometimes people don't have enough. And I'm able to detect essentially what those deficits are, because sometimes I see pictures, sometimes I see things that look sort of like movies in my head that bring me to specific events that they're going through as I run my hands over these certain energy centers. So let me tell you what I feel with people who are going through narcissistic situations where they're in a relationship or dealing with somebody that maybe they've just gotten out of a relationship, but they're still dealing with the aftermath. What kind of people experience this? What draws these people to get involved with these people? So what draws narcissists to people who experience this abuse? Well, there's something that I found that is a really common denominator, and that is that people that I deal with are very empathetic. They're essentially empaths. So when I work with people, I run my hands over them, every energy center that starts from the top of their head and goes down to about the groin level. And what I feel is that, first of all, they have a very compassionate heart that draws my hand to their heart, almost like a magnet. So they absorb what people are going through. They're very compassionate and they want to listen to what people are going through. And they experience it just as if they were experiencing it. So say if they had some sort of tragedy in their family, they would emotionally go through it as if they were, had experienced it themselves. Another thing that I detect in people who are going through a narcissistic experience is that their throat chakra is really off balance. Sometimes I just feel the energy. It's like this huge tingling in my hand, or like there's a lot of electrical charges going off in my hand. But also it sometimes travels through my hand up into my own throat, and what I can feel is like a choking sensation, like they can't say what's on their mind, or they want to. It's kind of like a dream where you're screaming, but nothing comes out. So they're trying to say something, but somebody is not listening as much as they say it, and that's the sensation that I feel. Also, I feel that a lot of times they have an issue with their sacral chakra, which is right down here. And if there is an imbalance, if I feel that it's like super low energy, or it's a kind of sadness that I feel down there, it leads me to believe that somebody has low self-esteem, or to put it in a different way, they just don't feel that they're entitled to a certain amount of happiness. I know that doesn't make sense, but it will in a second, because there's one more area that I feel that there's always an imbalance with with people, my clients, who get involved with narcissists, and that is the root chakra, and that's like down in the groin area. And when I feel an imbalance there, sometimes I feel a major imbalance, like there has been some sort of physical abuse when they're a child, because that's what it's all about down there. It's sort of like the it's sort of that area that you store those past experiences in. So sometimes it feels like they've been abused, or there wasn't enough positive reinforcement, or sometimes they were bullied by peers, but it just made them in current times to feel like they were not worthy of a certain amount of respect, the treatment that maybe they give to other people, but it's a feeling as if they are not worthy of being treated as though they treat other people. So with all these things together with one another, those are the feelings that I get when I read somebody who's in a narcissistic relationship or is recovering from a narcissistic relationship. How do I get validation that that's what I'm feeling? Well, I get very little information sometimes from my clients when they come in. A lot of times they come in and they say, I just want to feel relaxed. I have a little anxiety. I want to just feel a little more balanced emotionally. And then I pick these things up, and sometimes they're kind of surprised, and I don't know how they're going to take it when I tell them this, but I say, are you in a narcissistic relationship right now? And you know, I would say 90% of the time they'll say, yeah, yes, I am. And so that's how I get the validation, through these consistent feelings that I have with the different areas that I am working with. And the same feelings occur over and over and over again. And beyond that, I work with a mental health care provider who I first see the people for Reiki. I tell her what I sense during the treatment. She sees them, and they kind of spill the beans to her. So that's where the validation comes in. I've read them, and she gets the concrete evidence out of their mouth that this has occurred. But you know what? So you have people who have been sort of victims of narcissistic abuse, but then occasionally I see a narcissist that comes in. They'll never tell you that they're a narcissist, but the same consistent feelings occur each time I see them. So it's very interesting. So what I will sense with a person who is actually a narcissist is when I run my hands over their throat, I get this feeling like a jet of cold air is hitting me in my hand. And what that means, and what I've learned over time that means, is that these people don't tell the truth. There's something dead here where they just tell consistent untruths. They don't speak the truth. And then when I run my hands over their heart, once again, it blows this cold air out, as if there is something dead. Because I'm also an intuitive who deals with physical issues. And so if I run my hand over a person who has maybe scar tissue or some sort of nerve damage, I get that same feeling in my hand, like there is cold air blowing out of it, because something is not working. There is no energy running through it. So somebody has a scar, I'll put my hand over it, and it blows cold air out because there's damage to it. There's no flow. Same with the heart of a narcissist. You feel the same thing. It's cold air that runs out. It runs out into my hands. And that means that this person has no capacity for empathy. There's just no compassion, and they don't feel this emotion strongly. And one interesting thing about when I work with a narcissist is that there is a strong feeling in their root chakra. And, that's down in the groin area. But it's a really weird feeling for me because it's damp and it's dark and it's very strong. And it's a feeling that actually kind of makes me sick to my stomach. It's hard to describe, but I know it when I feel it. So how, once again, do I validate this sort of feeling? Well, as I said, I work with a mental health care provider that I give my report to, and then she validates it by saying, yes, this person has told me this is how he feels. This is the way he operates. So, yeah. So I'd say to you, if you're experiencing this, there are certain things that are essential to protecting yourself and to really living a happier life and breaking the pattern, because there is a pattern. It seems to be that people who have attracted this sort of person once, they'll do it again. And it stems from what I have detected, childhood experiences where somebody has told you you're not worthy of a person who should love you and give as much love to you as you give to them. So it's important that you put yourself first, and there is no harm, and it's not being egocentric to put yourself first. And that means doing work like maybe getting into a practice like yoga, an energetic practice like Tai Chi or Qigong, something that gets that energy flowing. But also something called manifesting, which it seems kind of, out there, but it actually does work, where every day you write down things that you would like to achieve in your life. Very emotional states that you would prefer to be in. Would you like to be happy? Would you like to feel self-love? Would you like to be confident? Write these things down and say them out loud as if they are happening now. I am confident. I am loved. I love myself. I have abundance, whether it's, I have great friends. I have financial abundance, whatever it is. Say it every day, and I guarantee that you'll put it in motion. Things will happen. But also calming your mind, because when you are with a person like this, your mind is all over the place, because their goal is to confuse you, to get you into a sense of confusion where you don't know what's happening and where you stand. So what's really important is to try to meditate, to clear your mind of overthinking. So if you can just take a couple moments a day and work on mindful meditation, and that means just listening to your breath, closing your eyes and breathing in and out, and just feeling your body rise and fall, and getting into the present and just listening to what's happening as you breathe in and out. It's going to clear your mind. It's going to sort of balance the hemispheres in your brain so you're not overthinking so much. And that's super important, because that will help you to not overanalyze, understand what is real and what is not real, because in narcissistic relationships, it's all about confusion and not listening to your intuition. That's another thing. Try to develop your intuition and listen to it. If you have a gut feeling about something and you feel it over and over again that something isn't right, pay attention to it, because it's most likely the truth.